Coming to you live from the Fuck You Carry Studios. It is the Believe in the South Side show. I am Steve-O. You can find me on Twitter at Drunk Shy Sox Fan. Joining me, usually, is my co-host, Carrie. He is not with me right now. I am waiting for him to get online. All that being said, please make sure that you rate, subscribe, and review to this show. Wow. This White Sox series was absolutely terrible, horrific, no good. Another one. There's a reason why this episode is named One Step Forward, 2 steps back, repeat, rinse and repeat. It's the same thing with this team every single time. So, joining me finally is my co-host, Carrie. Carrie, how you doing?
What's up? Sorry about that.
It's good to have you on. We are live. So,
ironically, that was my uncle bitching to me about the Chicago White Sox.
Of course it was. And you know what? He has every right to. It's just so goddamn frustrating. I mean, I feel like a broken record saying what I say, but I actually said to my dad today, who me, him, a couple other guys share a 40-game package. I said to him, this is it. Like, I'm fed up. So, Carrie, tell me about your weekend, because I know you were at the ballpark experiencing the one victory that the White Sox had.
Yeah, I mean, that was fun. That was a good game Saturday, but it was like a frustrating game, of course. Like, they still won, but in the most frustrating way possible. I mean, getting a lead, giving it up, getting a lead, giving it up, getting a lead again, giving it up again, and then winning, right? I mean, it was fun, and it was fun to see Oscar do it, you know. But Jesus Christ, this team. So it was, you know, besides that, you know, good game on Saturday. The rest of this weekend with this baseball team specifically fucking sucked.
Yeah.
So
yeah, 100%. I mean, let's start on an optimistic note and talk about Saturday and the victory. We got to see the Oscar Colas walk-off, Carrie. Your boy.
Yeah, I mean, nice to see Oscar Colas do it, gain some confidence. I know he was struggling a little bit before then. I mean, he still is kind of struggling. He's not really pulling the ball besides that play, right? I mean, you saw that he pulled the shit out of that ball, and it went right over the guy's head, and it was a great hit. And even if he caught it, game over, but, you know, it was out of reach. So it was a fun game. Like I said, like that's when this team is fun, is when they're fighting back and stuff like that. But once again, who fucked that game up? The bullpen.
Yep, I was going to say, I can't remember who specifically it was. I know Kendall Graveman gave up a run pretty late, right?
Kendall Graveman nailed somebody in the face. I witnessed this team walk the bases loaded, walk with the bases loaded twice. So they gave up 2 runs with bases loaded. So It's just any way they can give up a run, they do. So.
Yep, 100%. And this bullpen is so atrocious. I love that you brought that up right away, Carrie. And I just have to bring up Sal's comment here again. The White Sox have broke me. I am there. Like, I'm actually thinking, just because I hate pain and suffering so much. I love pain and suffering so much. I love making myself hate myself. I'm thinking about going to the ballpark tomorrow. I don't know why. Wait, is it a day game or a night game tomorrow? Look that up for me, Carrie.
It's a night game. It's a 6:10
night game. Yep, 6:10. I'm thinking about going. I love that you bring up the bullpen, though, and just how atrocious they've been. I mean, it's god-awful. It is historically bad. Okay? And I know our guy, Recovering Prof, on Twitter, Jesus H. Strawman, he was hyping these guys up, and he said there's good stuff. Like, these guys, these guys can pitch well when they need to. However, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it out of so many of them. So,
I don't know. Your dog okay?
Yeah, a little Bo here. I think I was moving the wheels, and I think he got out the chair.
Oh, God damn it, pinched. Steve. Look at that little guy, though. Yeah, I don't see it with this team. Bummer looks like nothing like he was 2 to 3
No,
years ago.
exactly.
He looks like every time he's out there, he's like a mental midget. And Joe Kelly's horrible. He's never healthy. And
Right.
Graveman sucks since we signed him. Like, I don't understand that. And
Well, he had a good first half last year, and we're starting to see second half Kendall Graveman again.
Yeah, this Greg Santos guy shouldn't even be on this fucking roster. The one bright spot, Keenan Middleton.
Oh, yeah. Is that how you pronounce it? Is it Keenan? I think it's Keenan. Keenan Middleton.
Keenan? Yeah,
Middleton. That dude can pitch.
yeah. He was good as a closer a few years ago with the Angels. I mean, he looks decent right now, but it's just him and Lopez like is good every other game. I mean, I don't fucking know. Tanner Banks looked okay. It's the same shit, and I just love that like Rick Hahn allocated so much money to this bullpen, and they're the worst bullpen in baseball right now.
It's the 2015 Royals model, unfortunately. It's the 2015 Royals model of let's build up a pen and
didn't spend money on that bullpen. They were homegrown people. So like besides Wade Davis as their closer, but like you could do that, but everybody else was homegrown, not bought. Like it's just ugh.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about Pedro Grifol and his use of the bullpen too. Today, obviously, he stretched out Cease big time. Was it 118 pitching?
Yeah.
I mean, like it was crazy. Do you like that move to try and win the ball game or not?
I mean, he's gone to the bull. He knows that the bullpen sucks so much that he's got to stretch them out as much as possible. And he let up 4 runs, but little did we know this team would let up fucking 8 runs. I mean, I'm just pissed that I didn't put money on the Orioles when they were like plus 700 in the first inning. Like, God, fucking
right.
But
because you knew this was going to happen, right?
Yeah, of course. Like this whole time you're like, okay, when are they going to implode? Like when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Oh, there it is.
Yep.
So,
with that being said, I'm a little bit of a superstitious guy, Carrie. I swear to God, anytime this weekend that I turned on the radio, I turned on GameCast. I didn't even turn the TV on. Okay, this is just the radio and on my phone, checking the game on my phone. Bad shit was happening. So at this point, I might just be like, I might go to the game tomorrow and say, if they lose again, I'm staying as far away from this team as possible. Because it's just it's aggravating, and if you want to be skeptical, I'm bad luck. Blame me.
I tried to do that too. Remember, I said the Orioles were gonna win 2 out of 3 because I was like, maybe it's a reverse jinx. I was fucking right, though. I hate that I was right. I didn't want to be right. That's like the whole like relationship with like White Sox and their fans is like, we knew all this shit was gonna happen, with Rick Hahn at charge because he was fucking terrible to begin with, and we didn't want to be right. Right? We didn't want to be right about all this shit. But the fact that we are, it's really sad because it's like, oh, we called that shit,
100%. 100%. It's too predictable with this organization. And as I've said before, it starts from the top going down. But is there anything? I hate being right about this too, Gabe. We hate being right about this team sucking. Is there anything to hang your hat on in this organization and say, yeah, I feel good about this?
Probably not. I mean, like, think about it. Like, the owner sucks. He doesn't spend money on people. The GM is horrible. The scouting is horrible. Development's horrible. The coaching staff doesn't look good. The players are always hurt, so the training staff is bad. The ballpark experience isn't good. I mean, the food's the only thing that's good at.
That's exactly what I was going to say, right?
Is like the stadium food, I mean, it's just because like operations is terrible. Luckily, me and my dad got there like 12:25, and we got in at first pitch. It took a fucking half hour at gate 3 to walk into that bitch, and we got there a half hour early. So it's just like none of that works, and then it's all just nonsense.
It is. It's fucking garbage. And when an entire organization is failing, you have to cut the top. You have to cut the top down, right? You have to get rid of the people who are in charge of the whole shit show. You can't get rid of Jerry.
Yeah.
but Kenny's got to be held responsible. Nobody's holding anybody responsible. That's the problem. Nobody's holding anybody responsible
because the owner doesn't fire people, so nobody feels like they, have to get something done. Like Rick Hahn was probably told, like, yeah, even if you fuck up this rebuild, you're fine. Trust me, you won't lose your job. That's why he'll get his chance at a third rebuild once he has to trade Luis Robert, Eloy, Yohan. He's gonna have to trade these guys soon. Cease, yeah, like Cease.
We just talked about it last episode.
It's gonna be the Chris Sale, the Chris Sale load.
Yeah, I mean, you said to me like there's like no, like we shouldn't get into trade these guys mode. Are you flipping? Are you on the point where
not yet? I'm just saying, like, just from
it's
the
inevitable
of what is now. I mean, I will say what I was going to say before, and I held back, but I do think this team's going to be 11-19 by the end of April. I wasn't going to say it then, but I think they're going to be 11-19 when you look at their schedule. I so far I'm right because I said they're probably going to lose 2 out of 3 of these next 2 series, which they have, and then I think they're gonna get swept by the fucking Rays. It's gonna be ugly against the Rays.
Yeah, I have tickets to that.
It just demolishes the White Sox.
I have tickets to that Friday game, and I don't know. At this point, I don't know. Yeah, mid-season trade returns would be enormous, Gary. So you're not ready to rebuild the rebuild?
I would be. I don't fucking know. It doesn't really matter anymore. As long as Jerry Reinsdorf's here, it doesn't really matter anymore.
Right.
Like look at the Bulls, right? They it's the same thing. Nothing really matters until he's gone. So for now, what I will say is I'm getting to the point where it's like they're making them become irrelevant for me and a lot of other people for the rest of the year. It'll be like during the years when they were rebuilding, when like you put them on when you want to, but you don't necessarily watch every game anymore, So I don't know. It's tough. They're making me not give a fuck, and like I'm getting to the point like I am a Bulls fan now. I used to be a diehard Bulls fan with like D Rose and them, right? Like and like even before them with the Ben Gordon years, Kirk Hinrich years, diehard Bulls fan. But like nothing's changing, so I am not as interested until Jerry's gone. So I just kind of like watch from the outside. I don't go to games. I haven't been to a Bulls game since 2018. You know. I'll say this about the Bulls though. Think about where the Bulls were about 2 calendar years ago, right? And I'm not saying that Acme, Arturas, and Marcus Eversley are the answer. I'm not saying that they're necessarily good GMs or front office personnel. I will say this. Think about the first half of the basketball season last year. The excitement around the Bulls. They were teetering between the 1 and the 3. Okay? Like this team was good. That team was Then what
good.
happened?
And exactly, it blew up in injuries. Exactly. Injuries across the board, right? I said the same.
Reinsdorf team.
Exactly. I said the same thing last time, like earlier in the season for the Bulls. It was like, Lonzo goes out and it's like crap. Like there you go. There's no contingency plan. There's no backup plan.
No, they never have one.
There's never a fucking backup plan. But like with the White Sox, we're sitting with the same vice president of baseball operations and GM. These guys have had jobs for at least a decade and a half. For Kenny, it's been well over 2 decades. For Rick Hahn, it's been 15 years.
Kenny's been with us since I was in middle school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was just getting out of pull-ups at this point, right? When Kenny was with
2000. He got there in 2000. I was literally
5 years old.
10 years old, and I'm 32 years old, and this motherfucker's still here and not doing well.
Exactly. And that's what makes this team for me. Oh, it's that one. That's what makes this team for me so unlikable. For our comment here below from Sally G, our guy Sal. It's so unlikable because of you've got these people in the front office who have not proven themselves.
Oh, speaking of that,
Kenny got lucky.
No, I'm glad you brought up proving yourselves, because did you see Rick Hahn's fucking presser and his comments about how they have to prove things again? motherfucker, you haven't proven shit to begin with. There's nothing to prove again. You won 94 games and went, well, you went 500 since 2021, right? I mean, like the second half. So thank you, senor. And, there's nothing to prove. And then he said something about how it wasn't, they're only talking about the negative fans with the White Sox. And, there's still people that come up to him and say, like, oh, I can't believe things have gone this way and, things will be better. Nobody's fucking saying that. I literally feel like Rick Hahn's quote, I was reading like a Donald Trump quote. I wasn't even joking.
No, I mean, he's bad lawyer speak. It's not even good lawyer speak anymore.
It was horrible.
I mean, that's the thing with Rick Hahn. Okay, like it shows that he doesn't give a shit as well because there's zero accountability for him. None. Okay, we're talking about a team that he rebuilt. Basically, do you want to call it two different rebuilds already? I mean, no, it's like living in baseball purgatory for forever, finally rebuilding, and this is the result. And there's zero fucking holding him to it from his bosses.
Yeah.
And it's an absolute fucking joke, as Senor said. Okay? And you can rag on this team for underperforming, right? But it's ultimately like, yes, they're the guys that take the field. But this is the team that has been constructed. You have put way too much faith in Eloy and Yoan and Luis to carry your organization. That's the idea. They put the keys to heaven. They put the keys of the Lamborghini in the hands of a bunch of 20-year-olds and said, "You are the future. We're putting everything in you." And that's it. Like, no backup plan, no contingency plan. No, if you don't do this well, we're going to replace you with some veteran that can do it. Consistently, at least. Like, there isn't that from the White Sox. And when your player development and your scouting is as bad as the White Sox is, then you've got to supplement with veteran talent, and they don't do that. The best that they've done with that is Liam Hendricks. The problem is you can't pay top dollar for a closer if you're going to be running on a budget.
Just like this quote, right? Where you're talking about how Rick Hahn doesn't give a fuck, right?
Right.
He said, you guys always hear from the most negative fans. The fans I talk to never come up to me and say, Rick, this is the start of the same stuff as last year. They seem to seek you guys out in the comment section. Imagine that. And then whoever wrote this article said it should be noted that this is Hahn's 11th season as Sox general manager. The team has had a winning season twice, including one of those as a 60-game shortened season. So he's really only had like one real winning season with this whole fucking rebuild. So for him to be a pompous asshole like he is with the comments and say shit, it's like you have no legs to stand on, so.
Yeah, it's bad.
With this comment, this is what I told you, Steve.
Jordan Miller comment
They're
below.
not going to rebuild, okay? Every year it's just going to be a retool. This is what they do. They go in this, like, sell everybody, and then if it doesn't work, you're just trying to fake, make it work and hope for everybody to have a career year. Just like in 2005. That's how 2005 happened, right? They made the Freddie Garcia trades, right? And stuff like that, right? They made that trade, and then they, got rid of Carlos Lee and Maglio Ordonez, and they didn't win the World Series. Pure fucking luck.
Yeah, so. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. The retool method just.
That's what it's going to be from now on.
It is. I mean, we're going to live in baseball.
Yoan, Eloy, Luis, and they're just going to retool around those guys, and they're not going to spend money on them. They'll spend Benintendi contracts on guys around them.
Exactly. And that's exactly what the Benintendi contract was. Because if they really wanted to add true talent and make this team better for real, you would have signed Benintendi. Guess what? You would have also signed Brandon Nimmo.
Here's the thing.
Or Michael Conforto.
You have Grandal's contract's going to come to an end. I think after this year, I think he's done. I think Grandal, he signed a 3 or 4 year deal. I'm not even sure. Yeah. But
4 year deal. 4 year, 78.
Okay, so then he's done after next year.
Or 70, 73, pardon me. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's done after next year. Okay. Which the deal looks bad now, but like, right? This is his third year?
Grandal,
His deal's
yeah,
done
it's his
next
third
year.
year.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got some really good talent coming out, after next year too. So what are you going to do with that $70-something million? Like, why not just sign like $100+ million guy? And Rick can't deal with those guys. He can't. He doesn't play in that ball game.
He doesn't. He doesn't play hard ball. He plays in the pussy range. That's what it is. He's an absolute pussy. He's so weak.
Yeah,
he's an absolute weak GM that can't have a seat or can only have a seat at the table for these big names. And that's the thing too, right? The White Sox need a big name. They really do. Imagine this team imagine this team with Manny Machado, or imagine this team with Bryce Harper healthy. Okay.
Zach Wheeler.
Right. Then if you want to plug in Benintendi, that's fine. Like, think about that, right? Then you're not relying on Oscar Colas every single day either, right? Yeah, I know. Whoa, this is the White Sox. Don't 100 million. Like, we can't talk about 9-digit like Jerry and 9-digit contracts are not a thing. And that's why, like, as much as I blame Rick Hahn and as horrible as he's been, because I will admit to you, he's a terrible GM. I also have to put this on Jerry fucking Reinsdorf just as much because, and you know what? Subject change. Sure, Jordan. Do you want
No, I like this. This goes into what this whole front office
is perfect. This is perfect. Subject change. How can the Sox allow Clevenger to walk out to Gold Digger by Kanye West?
Because nobody has any accountability.
Like the obviously you've got to think about the context with Mike Clevenger, right? And I don't need to go over the allegations right now. You're gonna let him do that. Like, I get the whole, like, okay, Clevenger, like, a little bit of chip on your shoulder, fuck you attitude, but that's over the top. That's too much. And you gotta have some standing as an organization. You gotta stand somewhere. You gotta care about something. And now I got to be on the Oscar Colas security detail as well, like my display name says, Carrie, because of Oscar Colas going on social media and liking Olivia Feinstead's post, a.k.a. Mike Clevenger's accuser. He goes on her Instagram and starts liking.
Yeah, a little weird.
Are you serious? I like, it's unreal.
They are becoming an unlikable team of players.
They are.
You have like Eloy Jimenez making posts on Instagram like, oh, you guys all say shit about me when I'm hurt, blah, blah, I'm all blessed, blah, blah. Fuck you. Play the game. Shut up.
Then you got the TA shit that happens all the time on Twitter. Then you've got...
I'm saying, is this team unlikable? They're getting there.
Right now they are. Right now they sure as hell are. That's where I'm at. I'm fiery tonight. I am pissed.
Well, let's talk about this upcoming series then and what we think is going to happen. And
let's talk about that. Sure. Why the hell not? We're getting short on time. God fucking damn it. They got the Phillies. And here's the funny thing about the fucking Phillies this year. They went to the World Series last year on the back of Bryce Harper. They went out. They spent money. They went out and got Trey fucking Turner, right? I mean, Philly actually, like, that's an ownership right there that really cares about spending money and making their team look good, at least on paper, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's way more than we've ever seen in our lifetime. That's for damn sure, or ever. Now you've got 3 games against the Phillies at home. Phillies have been an underachieving team thus far. I mean, we're talking about a team that's
same record as us.
Yes, I mean the same team that lost yesterday to the Reds 13-0 and then turned it around though and scored 14 runs on the Reds. So hopefully this is not their turnaround game because they had 23 hits against the Reds, okay? Both teams are 6-10, as you said. I know there was, questions about what we're predicting. Is it a split 4 games? It's 3 games. You can't split with Philly, right? Unless it is a 4-game set, and I missed.
It's 3 games.
It is 3 games. So they can't split with Philly, like somebody in the comment section here said. But is it going to be trash versus trash? Do we lose all 3 games? You go on a 7-game losing. It wouldn't be a 7-game losing streak. Oh, unless you're counting Tampa Bay and and the upcoming games, possibly. What do you think? How is Sox going to fare against the Philadelphia fucking Phillies?
Well,
NL champs from last year.
you got Lynn and Gio and Clevenger going versus Wheeler. You got T1 Walker and I don't know who this
Taijuan Walker. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
You got Bailey Falter. So, I mean,
Okay.
Sox probably take one.
Take one. You're going to say they're going to win one of these games.
Yeah, probably one. Give it one.
Yeah.
They have just better guys than, I mean, like Schwarber. They still have Castellanos, Schwarber, Realmuto, Trey Turner. Brandon Marsh is hitting really well. You know,
here's the problem: is you're probably right
too, but our bullpen's worse.
Yeah, seriously. Just when you think somebody's bullpen is bad with a 5 ERA or whatever they've got, you've got the White Sox that have a bullpen with an ERA of, after today, even higher than it was. I think it was like 7.61 or something going into the game. And guess what the bullpen did? Oh, hold my beer is what they said. Our bullpen said 7.61 ERA, hold my beer. Let's get that even higher. I'm really trying to think about like the talent. There is talent. There is talent on this team. There is. There's just not enough depth. And there isn't the veteran ball player. There isn't the veteran presence that's, hey, we're going to get this shit together. I'm a proven veteran. I'm good. I'm, consistent. Because as much as you want to say good shit about Yasmani Grandal, I mean, he is inconsistent.
He hasn't been good in 2 years.
Right. Or a year. Well, he was fine in 21. And, he was rough in the beginning of 21. And, 22 was awful for him, right? Series against Philly. Philly's a laughing stock right now, too, though. The problem is, like, they're not a league-wide laughing stock. Like, literally, on the Orioles broadcast today, Carrie, they said the White Sox bullpen has done it again. Well, like, that's ridiculous. The fact that you are at that level. In the Twins game, I believe it was the first game of the series, right? When Hanser Alberto threw the ball and it hit whoever it was in the back, right? Yeah. The Twins announcer said, the White Sox are going to White Sox. That's where we are at with this team, right?
Yeah. 100,000%. That's just who they are. I mean,
you know what? I'm with you, Carrie. One game, they're going to get lucky. They're going to pull one out their ass, or the offense, you're going to get production from all your guys, including like Jake Burger, right? Like Jake Burger goes off and hits like a 3-run homer because Jake Burger's better than 2/3 of his team right now.
That's how you know it's a fucking problem. So,
like at this point, when Yohan Moncada's healthy, you're putting Jake Burger at second base. That's how fucking bad this is. This is a guy that we drafted as a third baseman, possibly first baseman down the line, and he's gonna be fucking playing second base for this team. It's just unbelievable. It's just absolutely terrible. Yeah.
Who cares about Jose Abreu?
I mean, I don't care about Jose Abreu. I mean, Andrew Vaughn has been better this year. The problem is
he needs to hit home runs, though.
Yeah, thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth. Yes, Jose Abreu. I'm a known quote unquote Jose Abreu hater. I'm not. That being said, yes, he has not looked good in Houston. Our guy, who we're replacing him with, looks much better. However, hit the fucking ball out of the fucking ballpark.
Eloy can't even hit the ball out of the ballpark either.
Both of them have no homers this year. Both of them. Think about that. The two guys that should be leading your team in home runs do not have home runs.
Well, that's the problem with this team the past 2 years. They just stopped hitting home runs. When you don't hit home runs, okay, and when you don't walk and you strike out a lot, but you also don't hit home runs, this is the result.
Absolutely. I called this episode once again, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, repeat. That's what this year has been so far. And that's exactly what I'm going to predict for this week against the Philadelphia Phillies. Because, Carrie, since the Houston series, they've played who? Can you run me through those teams?
Yeah, the Giants, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, And then just now, right?
Yep.
The Orioles.
Baltimore. All 4 of those series. Do you know what the results have been win-loss wise?
Yeah, they tied and then they lost the others.
Right. Since the Astro series.
Oh yeah, they've lost every
1
single
win and 2 losses. In particular, every single game or series, pardon me, has been lose the first,
win the second,
win the second, and lose the third. Every single series. They can't close out. So do you want I'm gonna predict
And
the
you know
same
what else
exact
is
fucking thing?
up, Steve? I saw a stat. They've had the lead 12 out of 16 games so far. They've had the lead 12 out of 16 games. They could be 12-4 right now if you think about it. So it's just where we are, the bullpen. So good job, Rick Hahn. So yeah, we're both going 1 game, and I think that's what's going to happen. And I guarantee you, Wednesday when we talk later that night,
We'll do Thursday.
We'll do Thursday.
We're Thursday. We're going to do it on 420. You.
Oh yeah.
Me. We can make the announcement.
Yeah.
You, me, and a friend of the show. I'm going to call him just Mansu Lee.
Yeah, that's right.
May not be his government name, but that is his Twitter display name. PaleHose05 is going to be joining us on the air. It's going to be fucking fantastic. I'm going to be very high for it.
So will I.
Yes, I cannot. I don't know if it's raining by you, Carrie, but
it's not.
But actually, maybe that's why I'm riled up. I took gummy. I got to stay off the damn weed, as Stephen A. Smith would say. Carrie, I'm going to predict the same thing as you, though. 2 out of 3 will go to the Phillies, and it's going to be the same fucking pattern because that's the White Sox. If it's one thing that the White Sox know, it's being consistently average at best.
Yep.
Straight up. Now tell me, do you really want to love me forever? Paula Abdul, right here in the comment section. Wow. Yep, that's enough said. I don't know. Any other thoughts that you want to add in, Carrie?
No, nothing. I mean, if the Sox win a series, then I will shave Steve's head on live, or we'll actually have Senor on our podcast one day if he's up to it legal. So yeah,
that's right. It's really funny. My dog is a big fan of ice. I just wanted to let you know that. Big fan of ice. I just put cleaner on top of my head because Jim told me to rub oil on my head live. It is a little oily, so I'm going to go wash that off right now. This is the Believe in the Southside show. Thank you for those of you that tuned into the live comments. They were awesome. Helped us really have a great baseball conversation, even when I don't want to talk about this team at all. That's how fucking pissed off they've made me. So, Carrie, thank you for joining us 2 minutes late.
Yep, no problem.
That's and on that note, we're signing out. It's the Believe Boys, and we will see you on Thursday with our buddy Sam.
That's right.
Peace.
See ya.